All right, we live. Ooh, we got a lot to talk about today, don't we? This boy beat Rico. Y'all be talking about that can't happen. My dude just said we can't happen where? Diddy beat Rico. And we're gonna dig all into this. Cause from what I understand, from where I come from, that can't happen. You can't beat Rico. But somehow he did it. Diddy did it. Diddy beat Rico. And I'm setting up now. I'm running a little behind. I want to be on like 10 minutes ago. I was having a little trouble apparently, but we figured it out. Computer's running a little slow. It's cool. It's cool. We got this. Oh, I got a show for y'all tonight. How did he beat Rico? It was by spending copious amounts of money. When it's like 99+% don't beat these charges and you beat them, you a different dude. You different. This boy different. This boy beat Rico. Let me call my guest. Make sure he know we on. Yo, Ice. I don't know. Oh, okay. What? Oh, wow. You remember me? That's wow. I was gonna. He appreciates that immensely. I appreciate that immensely. I am live in front of the world right now, so I'm not. I'm, I'm appreciate it. Thank you. I bet. All right, my bad. I was running into technical difficulties, but I'm in right now, and people are watching me on the phone with you and Donna. Right, I'm ready to go. So I'm gonna jump back in, and I'm here when you get here. Let's give these guys a show tonight. Gonna give y'all a show. You heard? All right. Oh man, let me just throw this on speaker because we got to do what we do. All right, let's Are you trying to come in? I don't see where it says to admit you. Come on in when you're ready, because we about to. Yo, a lot happened today. A lot happened with Diddy today. A lot happened with Diddy today. Y'all don't even understand. Did he do it? I guess not. How about that? How about I guess not? Oh man, I can't wait to talk about. Yo, we got a lot to talk about. Did he do it? No. Yes. Did he get off? How did he get off? What? How did he beat Rico? Well, they knew it was a slim chance for him to get Rico because he really. Oh no! You got to get on, baby. You can't have that conversation with me here. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to get on. Got it. I'm literally posting it to my Facebook. I want to see if I can get some people to come in and have fun with us. This is a conversation. Oh, nah, it's gonna be me and you, but they can be in the chats and all that. Boom, post that. Me, because this is a conversation here. So what's happening? You need me to send you the link again? Why you would just say so, brother? You know I got you. Give me 1 second. Because this is it. This is it. This is the conversation. This is what we've been talking about all this time. This is what we've been talking about all this time. We knew it was coming. And the way we was talking on this channel, we knew how it was coming. We knew it was gonna happen. We had a little doubt. We had a little doubt when the jury verdict came back kind of quick. That was like, what? You know, normally a quick verdict is bad news.
Well, it was bad news. It was good news, but it turned bad news.
It was all good news for Diddy. We'll talk about it on. I don't want to. I don't want to say too much because I want to have something to talk about. You know what I mean? So come on in and let's give it to these people because we got a lot to discuss. That we do. Because this is crazy.
I was feeling real bad that I thought I was going home.
Yo, come in. Don't do that. Come in. Come in. We got to do this live. We got to do this for the world.
Okay. I need you to.
I sent you the link. Oh, I just did that. Throw a thumbnail up right quick. So when people are looking, they're like, oh, that's the right video. I don't see you.
I don't see you.
Make sure I sent you the right link. Hold on, because some technical difficulties. I got to make sure I'm in the right account. Make sure. Let me check right quick. Sorry, guys, y'all are watching. I might be in the wrong link. Oh boy. Oh no, you got the right link. You got the right link because I just tried it, so it's working. Should just be able to click on the link.
I'm on Zoom workplace. Welcome. Get started with your account.
Wait, say that again?
Says Zoom workplace. Welcome. Get started with your account.
I'll be right back. I'm seeing my knuckles is ashy. I can't be on camera with ashy knuckles. Go ahead, bro. I look like a gorilla. Say that one more time. Ooh, that sounded all right. I see you still got it on something. That's weird because we ain't had this issue. You was able to get on last time.
Join me. Lucky.
Oh, well, that's problematic. We got a few people watching. I might have to get started. We're gonna have to get going. I got over 1,000 people in here, bro. I gotta start talking. Oh, bro, we gotta get you in here. All right, so we're gonna talk about a couple of things that's going on with this trial while we're trying to get the irreplaceable industry insider Ice Water, formerly of the Nubian Mob himself, to join us on this conversation, because this affects the industry. This is huge. This affects the entire music industry going forward. You got to understand something if you're new to the channel, right? Things have been going on in this industry the way that's going on right now since, bro, all right, send a screenshot of what you're seeing, because I got to get you in here. For thousands of years, I'm exaggerating, since the music industry began in this country. You check it, right? Rock and roll people, how they give it up, what they do. Rock and roll people, bro, there's a lot of cocaine in rock and roll, right? No doubt. Boom. So let's talk about R&B. That's, that's white people, black people don't give it up the same way. Yo, what's love got to do with it? My dude was getting high, smacking Tina around, right? That is how the business is. So fast forward to 2025, because that was in what, the 70s?
No, 60s.
60s? Bro, I need you to get in here, man. I'm talking. That's all right. We're not supposed to officially be starting until 7 o'clock. I'm not even looking at my list yet. I got a lot to talk about. A lot. Matter of fact, let's take a look at this list, because I got to get you in here. All right, so you hit the button. You hit the button, and what is it saying?
It says, welcome, get started with your account.
Okay. So click the button. Wait, there's join meeting. Okay.
I used to send something, then I saw my phone.
Well, I'm hitting the button. It's working when I do it, so I don't know. Let me walk through it again. I'm losing people. People's like, oh, what is taking so long? They're getting angry at me. You are unable to rejoin this meeting because you were previously removed by the host, which was me. I removed myself because I didn't want to be in twice. All right. Dag. Maybe I can send you a phone number and you can dial in, because I got to get going. Yo, I done lost. Everybody left. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong meeting. I'm looking at the previous episode. But people are leaving. I'm gonna send you a phone number, maybe, and you can join in. Maybe you can dial in, and I'll just have your voice, and you just have to look at me. I ain't the ugliest thing in the world. Y'all ladies love me. Oh, wait a minute. No Diddy. Chill. Time out. I don't want to be on. Oh, see, that's messed up. I shouldn't be joking like that. Too soon? Hold on. Let me see if I can get you this information. Oh, boy. Oh, man, this is... Hold up. Last time you was able to do it after I hung up with you. You want to hang up and try it? Yeah, because it's 7 o'clock, and I want to give these guys a show. All right. We gonna start talking about this Diddy situation, because we have a situation here. We walked into this talk about the feds beat, what, 99% of their cases, 99.7, 97%. I've heard a few different numbers, but it's all in the high 90s. Like, yo, if you got to see the feds, it's a saran. It's a wrap. And I don't mean like the one with the turkey and cheese. You in trouble, bro. Like, you got to see the feds. Yo, you doing decades. And everybody was like, did he done? It was like, did he do it? They was making jokes. Did he like, all right, so what I'm going to do? He was like, yo, I'm going to go get Mark Agnifilio, one of the best lawyers in the world considered. Boom, he goes and gets Mark. Mark ain't good enough by himself, but he's good enough to lead the team. So what does he do? He goes and gets Terry. Oh, hey, Racketeer, I see you back. What's up? Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining. We talking about that Diddy. So he went and got Miss Terragos. Miss Terragos. I know the name. I'm not even reading it. I don't have none of this. It's not written. I haven't gotten to the stuff that we got to get into yet. So he goes and gets Terragos. Then Young Thug beats this case. Young Thug was the longest case in the history of courts or something ridiculous. His lawyer's like, I'm a boss. Mr. Brian Steele. Next thing you know, Brian Steele's on the case. The guy named Rico, he left. They got rid of Rico. They came and got Brian Steele. He put together the Super Friends. If you remember the 1980s cartoon, like he got the leader, Agnifilio, the Superman, and now he went and got Batman with Brian Steele. Like, yo, he's trying to put together the Super Friends. He ain't trying to take an L. But the feds don't lose. So, boom, he goes into this, right? What is he going into? I mean, my man's still having a hard time getting in here. So I'm just going to start giving it up, right? So what does he go into, right? Boom. He goes and he goes into trial, right? And he gets a lot of things working against him. That's what he got. Let's talk about how things are working against him. They brought Cassie. If you did not see what happened to Cassie, a grown man such as myself who has a daughter in that age bracket might have handled things if it was my daughter. But Cassie was already in the modeling business. $10 million contract, big time. She wasn't joking around. She was in the modeling business. She wasn't trying to get in the modeling business. In that business, she was doing whatever she was doing because that's what they do in that business. It's entertainment. She met up with Puffy, and they started their relationship. Then, like, yo, when you saw that video, it's like, yo, how could you do that to a woman? But then things came out during the trial. Things that shook up what everybody thought they knew. And if you wasn't paying attention to the details as the trial went, you didn't know these things, right? So let's talk about some of the things that was going on with Cassie that made it like, yo, hold up, nah, wait a minute, what the hell? Let's talk about some of the things that was going on. One of the biggest things that happened with Cassie is Cassie admitted that half the time they were fighting, she hit him first. Hold on. Hello, Emily. Well, Cassie was the main girl in the Intercontinental Con. Let me back up. There was a video that came out in the middle of last year, I believe, where Diddy beat up this girl in the Intercontinental Hotel. He dragged her by her hair, kicked her, threw a vase at her. Her name was Cassie, short for Cassandra Ventura, an artist, his girlfriend. And the main prime witness for the prosecution. So as the prosecution is presenting their case, she tells us these horrifying stories where he made her have sex with multiple men and then slept with her afterwards. I mean, grotesque things. So as you're hearing it, your stomach is turning if you're like me, because I'm like, ew, man, you slept with mad dudes. I don't want you. Like, yo, you gross. But this is what he wanted with his women, apparently. These are the stories that circulated about him. And so that's how it went. So now it's the defense's turn. Defense is like, all right, so then they start showing text messages back and forth. Cassie's like, yeah, I loved having, they called it freak nights, or no, it was hotel nights with the last witness. With her, it was still freak offs, or Wild King nights came later. So she's having these freak offs. Basically, these are orgies. Multiple people, men, women, all sleeping. Ugh. Whatever. So, but listen, don't judge them because that's how they want to live. That's how they want to live. That's fine. That's none of your business, none of my business. What you do behind closed doors. Apparently, there's always mad drugs. Yo, the list of drugs is crazy. Adderall, ketamine, pink cocaine, weed, alcohol, um, Taffodil, oh, what is it, Cialis, whatever it is. There was a couple of others, but you get the point. Like, you got horse tranquilizers and medicine for ADHD and cocaine and like, yo, you have the spectrum. So, did she want to do it? Nah, he held her down and stuffed it down her throat. Wait, no, she wanted to do it. Oh, right, she was willing. She was a willing participant in engaging in these illicit drugs, right? She's texting this dude like, yo, last night was so good. I can't wait to do it again. And then she admits that she's starting fistfights with him by punching him in the face. So when you start taking all of that into account, now you got to wonder, is he forcing her to do these things? And even with all that, I'm like, yo, I'm a real dude. I'm like, yo, oh, wow, Dion Powell, Diddy is as innocent as the day hip hop was born. Woo! Mr. Powell, who I will be on with live Sunday as we discuss everything that's happened. We're going to do a recorded video before that because so much has happened where the bill hit the Senate floor and they passed it and went on to the House, and now the House is looking at it. But I don't want to get into all that right now. Right now, it's about the fact that Diddy got off the RICO. So I'm explaining how. So now all that's going on with Miss Ventura, Cassie as she's known, the girl from the beating in the hotel, his girlfriend, right? Thank you, Emily, for making me do the revamp so that everybody knows who and what we're talking about, so we're all on the same page. So all that's done. My guest is having a difficult time signing on. I don't know if he's going to be able to get on today. I don't know if he hit me because I got my phone on silent because the show must go on, right, ladies and gents? So now, I'm just going to go step by step. So with Cassie, in closing, we learn even more. It gets crazy. When she was on the stand, she was 9 months pregnant about the pop. They called her in first because they had to get her out in case she gave birth because she was ready to go at any moment. So they called her in first. She comes in, it's this big drama. She's all pregnant. So, they're feeling bad for her. She's talking about how she was getting beat on and all that. But she was a willing participant and she started things first. To me, that sounds kind of like, well, I don't know. If you ever had a friend that used drugs and they had a relationship, it sounded like that one. That the person you just thought of, that person. Sounded like that. So it was crazy. Like, yo, they beating on each other. They having wild sex all the time. Whatever. But it can be said that he was manipulating her. That he held the money over her head to make her do these things. So she was only pretending to like these things. That's what that's the narrative the prosecution pushed. In the closing arguments, they start showing other texts, right? So what was so illicit in this text that made me look at Cassie like, you lying? Well, I'm going to tell you when you can draw your own conclusions. She broke up with Puffy and left him because he was such a horrible man. She got with her new boyfriend. They eventually got married. While she was with her soon-to-be husband, she was still sleeping with Diddy. Yes, the horrible guy used to beat on her. She's still sleeping with her. And even after they got married, they still sending text messages. Yes, she was only doing these things because he was holding her career over it. Come on. So Cassie pushed it aside. Don't believe a word she says. You can't convince me that you was doing it because he held your career over your head if you're still sleeping with him after you both supposedly moved on. And then there was somebody else, but they didn't bring charges up with her. She was just a witness. There was some girl that was like, he kidnapped me twice. Her name was Capricorn Clark. So Capricorn Clark was like, when I first started with him, because I used to work with Suge Knight, he had a problem with me. I was friends with Cassie, the first girlfriend that went from the hotel, and we were very close and so on and so forth. Then where it gets interesting, see, here's the thing: you got to look at the whole picture. And when I looked at this, I knew he couldn't be convicted of the heinous things he was being accused of because these are the stories. These are the stories. Then we're gonna get to how he got off, right? So you have all this going on. Hold on, let me make sure I'm catching up. Did he move silent like a G in Rico? All right, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. He's innocent of the RICO charge. I'm gonna get to that. So she's like, "Yo, he kidnapped me. Some money came up missing, and they took me and they made me take these lie detector tests, and it was horrifying." So you went back to work? Of course. So you were scared, but you went back to work? Yes. Okay. Money's good. How much was you making? Well, he owed me lots of money, but I only got $35,000 a year. You stayed through all of that for $35,000 a year. Got it. Okay. You're there because of the money, right? All right. So then there's another incident later where she claimed to be kidnapped again. What happened on this particular kidnapping? He had beef because Cassie, that same girlfriend, was starting to date another man. He goes by the name Kid Cudi. She said he kidnapped, came knocking on my door at gunpoint. Now, mind you, she was sleeping with him. But we won't talk about that part. She had never been to her house before. And he came and got her at gunpoint with her bodyguards and drug her to Kid Cudi's house, where there was a big car chase. And afterwards, he came back. Mind you, she's still there at gunpoint. This is kidnapping. He blew up Kid Cudi's car, then went to Kid Cudi's house and opened up all the Christmas gifts. I guess this was supposed to be an intimidation. I don't know. He opened up all the Christmas gifts. This was the story she gave. There were a couple of holes in her story. She spoke to Cassie about it. There was no gun in her story to Cassie. As a matter of fact, Cassie's story, she didn't see anybody blow up the car. As a matter of fact, when the feds investigated it and they came up with DNA from the way the car was blown up, which was a Molotov cocktail, so it was a piece of glass from the bottle, I'm going to assume, they did a DNA test. And it was a female's DNA. So she could not have seen him blow up the car. She's lying again. Now this is getting interesting. She texts Kid Cudi to warn him that Puffy was coming. Here's what gets interesting, right? She didn't tell Kid Cudi that he had a gun. So the only time she came up with his gun, I should mention that she was interviewed by prosecution like 25 times, I think it was. And in like the 21st or 22nd time, now there's a gun when there wasn't prior to it. She might have been exaggerating the truth. She might have been committing perjury. She definitely was lying. So the charges against him were, hold on, let me read them because I have this. I jumped ahead a little bit, but a lot of detector tests in LA and Kid Cudi. Predicates. Okay, what were the charges? What were the charges? Racketeering conspiracy. We'll get into racketeering conspiracy. That's the RICO. We'll get into that. Trafficking, transporting to engage in trafficking. The arson and bribery were predicates for the RICO. And we'll talk about the RICO. But these are the witnesses that the state was calling, or that the feds was calling. This is why it was like very difficult to believe he was going to go to jail. Now, as I previously mentioned in previous episodes, there are witnesses that the state might have called that would have put a different light on what occurred or on possibly a RICO charge. There was, for instance, I believe her name was Natanya Harding, young lady that was shot in a nightclub in the late 90s in the face, who from the night she was shot to the very moment that I sit here has claimed Puffy did. Her exact words were, I was shot in the face. I was looking at who did it because it came to my face. I saw the person that did it. Puffy did it. J-Lo was there. Shine was one of his artists. It's the one who, after Biggie died, he sounded a little bit like Biggie, except he didn't have his exact flow, but he was able to do a similar voice. You remember Shine from the 90s. And Shine admitted to doing it and did 10 years. When he came out, he said Puffy promised to pay him if he did that, and he never got paid. And then he got deported. He's a politician in his home country now. He had a happy ending. Now, why did I bring up that story? Natanya, who was shot in the face, could have testified. That would have been something that sounds more like, oh, wait a minute, time out. Now we're talking about serious charges. Shine could have testified. Because now you got bribery. Because they tried the bribery. Let's talk about the bribery. Since I brought up Shine, let's talk about the bribery, then I'll double back. They tried to get him for bribery. In the Intercontinental Hotel where he beat up Cassie, there was a security guard that he paid $100,000 for the tape in order to stop it from circulating. He didn't want people to see him beating up his girlfriend. Duh. Prosecution said, well, of course, this is bribery. He did this. This is against the law. Defense came up with a weak opposition to it, but it would suffice. He said, he's a celebrity. He didn't want that tape getting to TMZ or some other media outlet and having his net value fall because his name and reputation is tarnished. He didn't bribe him to stop from a criminal act. He bribed him to protect his assets. Like it, don't like it, that's up to you to decide. But that was the defense's defense to the bribery there. But back to Shine. You put money in this man's pocket to do a bid for you who you committed a criminal act. There's no TMZ, none of that. You bribed someone to stop a criminal act. That would have been an undeniable bribery charge. So why are we talking about not seeing him beat up his girlfriend and orgies and ketamine? Like, so what? He's with his friends having a good time, however they want to have it. No one's getting hurt. All right, Cassie got beat up that time. She beat him up last time. And I'm not condoning hitting women. I've never hit a girlfriend in my life. Have I had a couple that might have had it coming? That's for you to decide. I would never do that. That's not me. Seriously. But, and I have friends that do it. I ain't calling nobody names, but if you're on, you know who you are. But I don't condone it, and they know that. That's none of my business. I stay out of it. It's none of my business. Yo, y'all, that's what happened with y'all on closed doors. They take that. Bro, none of my business. And that's the same in this case. What y'all do behind closed doors. Of course, it's battered women and blah, 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 blah. If you're trying to run and they chasing you. But if you're going back, it's not, like, yo, you're in a toxic relationship. I'm not putting you away for the rest of your life because you and your girlfriend are fighting and doing drugs. Maybe you need to be in rehab, but a RICO charge? Now, I've gone over this several times on this channel, but we're going to discuss RICO again one more time for those of you who are not aware. RICO is racketeering, influence, corrupt organization. Ha, free Diddy. I don't know if he had this planned out for a long time. Actually, when they arrested him, he was about to have another freak off. He had all the drugs in the room. I mean, when they arrested him, they took him out of the room with half-naked women and men and the drugs all over the place. When they arrested him, he was getting ready to get it in right now. Like, I don't think he had it planned out because he probably wouldn't have been, I mean, I don't think he would have been doing it when they knocked on his door with a warrant. Could be wrong, but I digress. So racketeering, influence, corrupt organization. Now here's the catch, right? You know what influence means? It means to put some sort of control over a person, place, or situations. You have some sort of control over it. You make things work the way you want. You control it. You know what corrupt is? It's bad. It's breaking the law. It's doing evil. It's doing something wrong. So you're controlling a situation, doing something wrong in an organization, a business, an enterprise, in a business. So you have your ICO, your influence corrupt organization. Racketeering, on the other hand, is where you run into your problem. What is racketeering? Racketeering is when a business is committing a corrupt act for the purposes of profiting. So if there's no profit, how do you get a racketeering charge? And this is what the jury's looking at. Jury's like, yo, Cassie, Jane Doe, she was having freak offs, or they called with her, it was wild hotel nights. She was going out doing these things while she was still dating Diddy with other people. And with the same people they were doing it with anyway. So kind of hard to say he forced her to do it if she was doing it even without him while they were together, without his knowledge. Cassie, she got married, she's still sleeping with the dude. I mean, these are the people that he supposedly forced. So he was convicted of 2 out of the 5 crimes. The RICO charge was a wash. Yeah, it was a wash. Nobody, I see you, Emily. It was a wash. Who's going to convict somebody for doing a RICO when dude didn't do a RICO? And the women were like, all right. So what they got him on was something with prostitution with these women. Hold on, I want to pull up the exact charges. Give me a second. He beat RICO sex trafficking. He beat RICO sex trafficking, included Cassie Jane Doe. He was convicted of the Mann Act for RICO and transport. He was convicted, not RICO. He was convicted of the Mann Act for transportation. Now, I'm going to read you the Mann Act because this is crazy. They got him. I don't know if he deserved it. You be the judge. This is a think tank. I'm not going to tell you what to think. I'm going to lay out the facts. And I'm going to tell you how I see it from an unbiased lens. But a think tank can't be me telling you what to think. Then it's not a think tank. You can come in the comments and you can tell me what you think here, and we can share it and we can come to conclusions, logical conclusions on our own. All right, so the Mann Act refers to a 1910 U.S. law, officially the White Slave Traffic Act. So they convicted him of the White Slave Traffic Act. That's literally the name of the law. The Mann Act refers to the White Slave Traffic Act. No, Cassie, Jane, and none of the rest of them are white, but I digress. That prohibits the transportation of individuals, this is according to Google Gemini, across state lines for immoral purposes, primarily focusing on prostitution and sexual activity. So what most people don't know is there was just as many white slaves as there were black. And the Mann Act was to try and stop some of that black slavery, especially of the women who were trafficked legally at that time for the purposes of prostitution. So the law was a good law. And that's what he got convicted of. Everything else, they said, what do you see? I got arson, I did bribery. What are the other? Because there's a certain amount of predicates. So the way RICO is set up is you have to commit 2 crimes. They're called predicate crimes. Crimes that add up to a RICO. So you have to commit 2 predicate crimes. You have to do 2 things within a 10-year span that equal and that equals a RICO. You have to do 2 predicate crimes. So you try to get him for arson. There was no DNA. There was a witness that was lying, according to all the other witnesses. They tried to get him for bribery, where they had him like, They tried to get him for transportation of sex workers across state lines. That he did. He did that. and they tried to get him for distribution. Oh my God, distribution pissed me off. Let me tell you how because the jury had to get orders from the judge. I'm gonna read some of this. I'm gonna get back to it. Would this happen if he wasn't famous? No. Thank you for joining, Charlotte. Welcome aboard. Well, Christopher, I'm explaining how Diddy dodged it. And so here's the thing. He would have had to get caught with 2 predicate charges. Robert, I explained the things that he did. He shot Nathaniel in the face. He had Pot killed. He probably had Big killed. You have witnesses. You have a witness literally. Keefe D took $100,000 from Puffy to kill Tupac. He testified to it, and he's now sitting in prison because of it. They did not use his testimony against Puffy. So this could have been handled better. Catch me if you can. Woo! Yes, it's scared of other music execs. Fat Joe is being charged right now. Jay-Z just took a loss to Busby. Things are going around the industry right now. But at the end of the day, he beat the charge. Now, I'll dive into that a bit. I was talking earlier before the live actually officially started. And I was mentioning some of the things, or maybe I was talking to Ice and he still can't get in, which is a travesty. So we were talking and it was like, yo, this has been going on in the music business for years. Partying like a rock and roller consisted of a lot of sex and a lot of drugs. There's going to be a lot of cocaine. There's going to be a lot of, that's what rock and roll partying was. From long and long ago. But let's, some people, like I said, some people might be like, oh, well, black people didn't party the same way. They didn't do all them drugs. And I'd be like, yeah, I love that. And then, of course, you'd probably be like, yo, what's love got to do with it? Get it? See how I segue into the Tina Turner thing? What love got to do with it? What was they doing and what love got to do with it? Getting high and he beat up Tina. Like that was Tina Turner was Cassie before Cassie was. You know what I'm saying? Like this has always been going on in the music business. I was explaining, Charlotte, why Diddy got off. I explained that Cassie was a bold-faced liar. I explained that Jane Doe was worse. I was delving into the predicate charges for RICO. Thank you, Charlotte. I appreciate that. So the predicate charges for RICO are the charges that add up to a RICO. You need 2 predicate charges in a 2-year span. They tried bribery. The bribery was a wash because prove I was bribing him to keep him from going to the police. I just didn't want him to go to the newspapers. I didn't want him to go to the rags. He obviously handled it smart enough that he didn't catch a RICO. Prove the arson. The only person's DNA that on the bottle in that car was a female. Obviously, Diddy didn't do it. Did he get somebody to do it? Maybe prove it. He's got what were the other predicate RICO charges that they tried to get him on? I got a list. It's racketeering, conspiracy. Oh no, that's the truth. Trafficking. They tried to get him for trafficking. Trafficking, he's guilty of. So here's what they did for trafficking. Here's what they did for trafficking. Trafficking was slick. They said, and this is on the books. If you hire a prostitute and bring them across state lines, if you've done that, then you've trafficked. And he was hiring these prostitutes and paying for their airplanes. I mean, he did it. But are you going to put him away for the rest of his life because he hired a prostitute? So the jury went in, they was like, yeah, no. Like, it's a little bit of fun. Thank you, Christopher. I'm having a little bit of fun. So, Charlotte, I'm glad that you're in here enjoying it with us. Like, so this, I mean, did he do it? Yes, he definitely trafficked these men and women because he was trafficking. He had these dudes sleeping with these girls. He would bring it like, yo, they would sit down in bed, like literally, they would sit down in bed and look on their phone and choose which dudes to bring in for her to sleep with. Then she would call them and have them fly in. And they really did that. They did that. And then he would sleep with her afterwards. Oh, thank you, Robert. Thank you. So, yeah, he did the trafficking, but is he guilty? He's guilty. He did it. He did it. But if you were sitting on the jury, put a one in the chat if you would be like, well, he hired prostitutes across state lines. It was for fun, but we're going to call him guilty. There was the other charge. There was one other charge. This was even crazier. Hold up. So it was trafficking, transportation, engaging trafficking, arson, bribery, and distribution. They gave they gave something crazy for distribution. Distribution is where they completely lost everybody. So let me tell you what they said about distribution. Hold on one second. What's that? I'll try and start doing more lives like this, John. I'm glad you're appreciating it. Thank you. I'm definitely going to try and do more of these. But the Puffy trial is over. Just for the notes, on July 8th, they're going to try and push up the date for his sentencing. Currently, the sentencing is October 3rd. They're trying to push it up so they can get him out of the jail he's in, because he's in like one of the worst places you could be in. They can put him someplace that, since he wasn't convicted of the higher charges, the lower charges, they can put him in someplace like not nearly as bad. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. So please have them join the channel, subscribe. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of that. So I lost my train of thought. I'm just loving all the love. Thanks, bro. All right. So the distribution. Oh, you ready? Yo, you ready? So distribution is if you give drugs to someone. Okay. On the surface, this makes sense. But let's look a little deeper. Because now the jury has some questions. Like, hold on, time out. So do you have to sell the drugs? No, you do not. Actually, it was in the judge's orders. You do not have to sell the drugs. All you have to do is get them the drugs or be responsible for getting them the drugs. So the jury's deliberating. They in the back, they're like, yo, that's crazy. What do you mean? Hold up, we got a question. They send a note to the judge. The note asks, what happens if they ask for the drugs? And defense and offense and prosecutors going back and forth. And finally, it's like, yes, even if you ask for drugs, if you give somebody drugs, you've distributed drugs. Now, I've been a clean dude for a long time. Thanks, Sam. I appreciate you. So, when I was in my younger years, my 20s, I smoked a little marijuana. I'm clean now. I don't smoke. I don't drink, not even cigarettes. But according to this definition of marijuana, of distribution, if I puff pass and you take it from me, I've just distributed drugs. So let me get this right. I just want everybody to be on the same page with me on this. If you pass the blunt, you've distributed drugs, and it's a predicate for a RICO charge where you go away for the rest of your life. Passing the blunt to two different people can put you away for the rest of your life, according to this judge's orders. Well, not now. Now marijuana is legal. But 5 years ago. And so I'm looking and I'm like, yo, hold up. Hold up. If anybody on that jury has ever done a hard drug, they're going to hear this and they're automatically going to say, nah, I ain't with that. You're not going to tell me you're going to put this man away for the rest of his life because they were partying. Because that means if you're in a bar, now I've never done cocaine. I've been to a bar or two. That means if you're in a bar and somebody slides you some coke, or, you take a bump and you pass it or however they do it, like, once you've done that, you've committed a predicate charge for a RICO. And if you've done that twice in your life, you can go away for the rest of your life. This is worse than this 3-strike rule. This is crazy. It's insane. So thank you, Chrissy, for joining us. Appreciate having you. Appreciate all the support and the love out there. So these are the predicate charges that they tried to implement for the RICO. You can see why, they're like Puff Puff Pass is a predicate crime for no to that. Arson couldn't be proved. Robbery couldn't be proved. Transportation, to commit sex. Like you want to put him away for the rest of his life because he hired hoes. No, not doing that. Not doing that. They were willing adults. They knew what they were doing. They used the same people over and over and over again. It's not like nobody was minors. Everybody was of age. Like, what are you talking about? You putting away this man? You want to put this man away for the rest of his life, and he didn't do anything to hurt anybody. All right, he hit Cassie, and Cassie hit him. Same with his other girlfriends. They had dysfunctional relationships, but not put him away for the rest. Give the man. Well, she took the money because, okay, for Cassie Ventura from the Intercontinental Hotel with the beating. What happened big was there was an extension in the state of New York where, although the statute of limitations were up, they gave a 2-year extension, I think it was, where you can file for DV, and he could have been caught for that. He paid her off, and then that 2-year extension ran out. So once that extension was over, they couldn't get him for DV. But she got 20 million. I mean, I'll let you whoop my ass for 20 million. Right here. 20 million? Yo. And I'm not trying to make light of what happened to her, because if it was my daughter, well, I can't say what would have happened on here. But what I am saying is that then charge him for that. That's 7 years, I believe, for DV. It's a felony. It's not a joke. It's not a laughing matter. But to put him away for the rest of his life because he had a dysfunctional relationship because they were hitting each other, sound crazy. And because they was doing drugs together. Rehab, DV, not RICO. He didn't make any money. There's no racketeering, not RICO. So what else happened that helped to get him off? After defense finished giving their concluding arguments, their closing arguments rather, the overflow room stood up and applauded. It was such a powerful close that you can hear them in the courtroom applauding. Crazy. What else happened? They said that one of the jurors might not be able to follow the judge's instructions during this. My personal belief, it was somebody who was once done drugs. It was somebody who was like, who took a bump or two in a bar at a time, or whatever they did. Maybe they smoked through the glass, whatever. And with all of that, they was like, nah, I passed my pipe. Ain't no way you gonna put me away from the rest of my life because I was a crackhead? Hey, you sound crazy. Jury 25, in my opinion, was probably someone who at one time engaged in actually doing drugs. Now, I've never done anything. I did smoke weed. Outside of smoking weed, I've never done anything. Cigarettes, and alcohol. I'm an alcoholic. I don't drink anymore, but I at one time did engage in imbibing alcohol. So many years ago, over a decade since I had my last drink. Anyway, those friends who have done it, that I guess. I don't understand what you're saying, Chrissy J, or it's someone who has friends who have done right. Somebody who's like, nah, man, I don't want to. I've seen people go through this. You shouldn't put him away for the rest of his life because him and his girlfriend are fighting. That's crazy. Right. I agree completely. Okay, the jury said about the distribution if he hands it off or is involved with the handoff narcotics, regardless if it's not a sale. Predicates were witness tampering. Oh, the witness tampering. So they tried to get him for witness tampering, no go. forced labor, that he made them prostitutes work when they didn't want to work. They were supposed to be his girlfriends. These are the predicates: trafficking, arson, bribery, distribution of narcotics, possession of narcotics, transportation for prostitution, and obstruction of justice. Those are the predicates they tried to get him with. Transportation for prostitution, he did that. He was guilty, but again, it was like, no, you're not putting him away for the rest of his life because he paid for something. No. Then the judge gave something to them. They gave them the weapon they needed. The weapon, like, yo, it was like, shh, I have the power. They said voluntary intoxication can negate a RICO predicate. So if they was getting high and doing all of this, then he was always high when this happened. You can't charge him for a RICO because he was always high. One of the things she was saying was that she wanted to charge him for having to drop narcotics in the first place. He was always high. So the jury could not possibly find him guilty on these charges. Kidnapping isn't kidnapping if there's consent. That's something else the judge said. That's the other thing they said. They got the shield now, like, ching, ching, ching. He's blocking it. Kidnapping isn't kidnapping if there's consent. So if you like, so Capricorn Clark's like, I didn't want to go, but I said okay. Wait. So you said yes, but he kidnapped you? You can't say yes, you're going and call it kidnapping. No. And they argued the fact there was no gun because you didn't tell nobody else the gun existed. So they threw the kidnapping out, obviously, as well. One of the things that worked for Diddy, I believe, happy 4th of July coming up, ladies and gentlemen. 4th of July is coming up this week. And why am I saying that works for him? The jury wanted to go home. They didn't want to be in court deliberating on July 3rd, which the judge said he would give them an opportunity. Y'all can come in July 3rd if y'all want. They was like, yo, we've been here for 2 months. The holiday weekend's coming up. I want to go home. They only paying me nothing. I'm missing work. I want to be done. So you got a quick turnaround on the decision because people wanted to go home. All right, what does Crizzy say? Coercive acts are a thing. I believe it's coercive. Am I looking at that right? But that's not what's happened here. I mean, he coerced them. He offered them stuff. He absolutely did. He absolutely did. He's guilty of that. They didn't get him not because he wasn't guilty. They didn't get him because what he did wasn't a life sentence. You're not putting him away for the rest of his life because he was like, yo, if you do this, I'll pay you. Or I'll promise you a career. I'll help you get your career. You're not going to put him away for the rest of his life for that. It's predatory. It's coercion. But a life sentence for that is crazy. Especially with women that are sleeping with him after they break up anyway. So it wasn't about that. Women that's having freak offs without him anyway. So it wasn't about that. So no more coercive that I got you. I see you, Miss Chrissy J. No more coercive than a woman being like, yo, I'll do you sexual. I do what you like if you help me out with my rent. And many women have been in that situation, especially with them. Like, yo, honey, you go to work. I'm going to do the dishes. I'm going to take care of the baby. And that's what happened. He was taking care. He was taking care of their kids. He was taking care of them. And he was making the money. That's what was happening. They called him a pimp for it. Well, they did have to stay hair and makeup ready. For those of y'all not in the entertainment business, hair and makeup ready means that your hair is done by a stylist or something that looks like it. Your makeup is done at a professional level. Your nails are done. You have to look a certain way. I do that when I'm filming, and I tell actresses they have to come in hair and makeup ready versus having hair and makeup design on set. So they have to be, and he never used the term hair and makeup ready. I'm using it because that's what I do in my business. Legal, this is what we do. Come hair and makeup ready, or we'll have a makeup artist and a hairstylist on set. It depends on the size of the budget. But they had to be hair and makeup ready. Oh, Ice is finally coming in. Uh-oh. We are going to get to hear from Ice today. He managed after leaving me alone for an hour. Come on, baby. Scroll to the bottom of your phone, find that microphone, find that camera. Ice Water, formerly of the Nubian Mob, was a platinum selling artist at the time when Puffy had his label at its peak during the early 90s. So a lot of the things that I'm talking about, he would know better than me because this was an industry that he was deeply in. He was signed with MCA Records. He was signed with Warner Brothers. He was there. He's, been to parties. He's told stories previously. All right. So you're all about to hear some interesting testimonies. And somebody asked earlier, what does this mean for the music business? I think he would be in a far better position to answer that than I. But he's in. His microphone is muted. I'm going to give him a call. Give me a moment. We're going to get him in. We're having some technical difficulties.
Celebrate tonight.
Oh, no, we are here. I did not have to help. Ice Water, formerly of the Nubian Mob. Welcome.
How you doing today, my man? How you
Happy
doing?
to
How you
have you.
doing?
Happy to have you. I thought you didn't love me no more.
Hey, listen, love is in the air every day. Love is in the air
No
every day.
Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm glad to have you. Somebody asked a question that you'd be far more suited to answer than I.
Mm-hmm.
The question was, do you think that people in the music business are shaken up by the results of this trial? First,
I
why don't
think
you tell
those
them a
that
little about who you are, about yourself, and your experience, and why you're qualified to answer this question?
hello, my name is Ice Water, formerly of the Nubian Mob. Um, I've definitely been in the music field. I've been around a lot of nice big people. I say that from Betty Shabazz to um man, there's so many people. Wow. You know how there's so many people you don't really realize it when people ask you. But I'm trying to get Daddy O for such a sign was definitely with me. Keto Massenberg, he's the one that put on heavy D'Angelo. He put on D'Angelo. He put on what's my name?
Oh, you got a TV or something in the background, bro.
Yeah,
It's picking
I gotta
up.
slow. I know I gotta cut it down. Cut it down. You don't hear it now, right?
Nah, you good.
Yeah, like I said, he put on Erica Badu and D'Angelo. So I've been around some prominent people. I can say this as far as insider or outsider. There's a lot of things that happen in this field that you got to be ready for. A lot of people think they're ready for it, but they're not ready for all the stuff. Now the things that happened to Diddy, I'm gonna tell you this. At one time I was a pharmaceutical business person, and I remember I was on getting ready to go see the board. The board is when you're coming home from a stint. And this guy named Machine, he was sitting there with me and he was saying, I said, are you ready? He said, well, I'm not going home. I said, you can't say that. He said, what? I'm telling you, I'm not going home. They're gonna hit me when I go in the back. When he went in the back, he came back out. They did. They hit him one more time. So my point is, what's happening with excuse me, with Diddy right now is that they may be testing him. He may not think it a test. It could be a test to see how he's going to respond because he already has a jacket as being off the hook. So keeping him on the leash by curtailing things may bring out the best or the worst in him as an individual. And us as people, we have to realize that we get so jacked up, we jump off the bridge. Just relax. We don't know what's going to happen to him. We don't know if he's gonna go crazy because right now I know he's feeling like crap because he thought he was going home. His kids thought he was going home. His mom thought he was going home, and he went. Yeah, he went home right back to the south.
All right, let's talk about that going home for a minute. Because I talked
Hmm.
about all of the crimes and what got him to the point where he was, why he was released. I believe I
Right.
covered everything except for the actual crime he was accused of, which was trafficking Cassie, the girl that got beat up in a hotel, and his last
Yeah.
girlfriend, whose name they would not reveal, who went by Jane Doe, whom many
Right.
speculate would be, I don't want to say it because I grew up with 50,
Hmm.
but they speculated it was his baby mom.
Right.
He was convicted of trafficking them. So basically, why that's bad is they just said that they were prostitutes.
Right.
Now, I don't know if I would classify gold diggers as prostitutes,
Hmm.
but they was there and like Cassie, I think she really loved him. Like she was still sleeping when she was with a new boyfriend about to get married. That's not a
Right.
woman who's there for the money.
Right.
And Jane Doe, well, I don't know her, and I don't know enough about her to say, but
Hmm.
he didn't come off like he was trafficking these girls. It's like I believe it was you who said it to me. Like they had to give him something, and they wanted to go
Hmm.
home because the fourth is on Friday. And they're like, "Yo, I don't want to." They weren't sequestered. The definition of sequestered is when they say you can't go home, you got to stay here. They were
Right.
able to leave at the end of the day when courts closed. They weren't sequestered,
Hmm. Hmm.
but they didn't want to keep coming back. They didn't want to be here in July. They was here for months.
Right.
They wanted to be done with this
Hmm.
thing.
Right.
Somebody's going to write a book, I promise, because I would.
Yes, they
so,
are.
they came to a quick sentence, and they said not
Hmm.
guilty. We're not putting him in jail for distributing drugs and having orgies. Shut up. And it
Hmm.
was quick. It was fast. It was so fast we thought it was a bad thing. Even though I was saying I thought it was a bad thing, if I remember correctly, in truth, and if I'm gonna be straightforward, I didn't think it was a bad thing because three things. Number one,
Hmm.
if they had got him for two of the predicate charges, they'd have got him for the RICO. The fact that they did not have him for the RICO meant they could not have had him for the predicate charges, so it could not have been guilty. Number one.
Right.
Number two, when OJ came out with his verdict, that too was a quick verdict if memory serves.
Right.
And I guess there was only two things. So no, I did not believe he was. Even though I was saying it and I was giving everybody their, I didn't really believe that because they would have had to. If they got him for the predicates, the RICO was automatic. They didn't get. They were up
Right.
in the air about the RICO. That's because they didn't have him for the predicates. It's the only way that work. If we did,
Hmm.
it is a think tank, so we have to have that knowledge. If you got him for
Right.
the predicates, the RICO was automatic. If you're asking about the RICO, the predicates weren't sold. So so when he came back with those verdicts, he already beat the predicate. He already beat the predicates for those RICO charges, which was racketeering, conspiracy, trafficking, transport and
Hmm.
engagement, arson, bribery, and what's the other one I'm thinking? Distribution. He didn't get
Right.
those.
Hmm.
So he got the two that he got. Trafficking the girls. Basically, that means the jury just looked at him like they were hoes. Like they were
Right.
prostitutes. That's how the jury felt.
Hmm.
And everybody's bashing your jury for it. But it's a think tank. So now I'm gonna say something that's gonna really piss you off.
Right.
If prosecution didn't think they were prostitutes or acting like prostitutes, the charges wouldn't have been there in the first place.
Well, I can say this. I would like to say this without being, "Ooh," as they say, a hoe is a, you know, I don't want to say certain things, but if you know that they're promiscuous, that's what they are. That's what they are. There's a time and a place for everything. And hoeing ain't it. Oh, excuse me, stop that. Anyway, um, you have to realize that God made everything on this planet. So some women, that's their job in life. We can get mad at them. They can be pretty and all that, but that's who they are. Just like some people are natural born killers. That's who they are. So you got to take life for what it really is. Now, I know Diddy is very upset right now. Very upset. I know.
Well, he has a reason to be happy. He beat the feds in a RICO charge. How often does that happen?
Right?
0.05% of the time? Like he did 0.03% of the time, excuse me. He did the unthinkable and won. So he has
Right?
to be happy about that. Now, here's the big thing that everybody in his family celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
If he beat the RICO charge, that was the charge where they would have been able to seize his finances and properties.
Right?
The charges they got him on, he keeps all his bread.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So
I
you're
can.
saying he's upset because he didn't get bail?
I believe so because his 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 children, they were happy when they had the cameras on him. They were happy like he was going home. You turn around and find out, ooh, dad's not coming home. It has to be a deterrent to him. That is definitely has to have him on a, oh my gosh. And I heard that he's gonna be in there till October.
Okay, I went over that earlier, so I'm gonna say it again.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened with that was they gave him a bail. They gave him the bail hearing today. They did
Mm-hmm.
not. He did not get bail. Bail denied. I mean, yo, Agnifilio went ham trying to get him out of there too. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was bail denied. Agnifilio put on his show, and the judge was like, "You done? No. Now here's what's going to happen. October 3rd, you're going to get um your sentencing." And
Mm-hmm.
Agnifilio's like, "Yo, hold up, dang. We don't want to wait till October 3rd, bro." That's not how he speaks. He's an Italian dude, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling him Agnifilio. That's because one of
Mm-hmm.
my favorite YouTubers called him Agnifilio, but it's not his name. His name is
Mm-hmm.
Agniflo. Agniflo.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Tisa Tells. Even though we're on opposite sides of the outlook on this case, I respect her journalism capabilities to the utmost. She was very upset today, like many people, that he wasn't found guilty, but it's the prosecution's fault.
Oh, okay.
And I should have went back out there and talked to her because I saw how upset she was. I felt badly about it. But prosecution messed
Mm-hmm.
that case up. Y'all felt that he proved it. And I looked at him like, I believed he was guilty when I started. By the time it was done, I said he's not guilty.
Right.
So defense won. They won me over. So if they won me over and all I did was look at the facts of the case, then I wasn't won
Mm-hmm.
over by emotion. I was won over by the facts.
Right.
So I digress. And then I looked at the jury and was like, well, what will the jury say to this? I know what I would say. Anyway, they gave him the sentencing for the 3rd. And after he fought and fought and fought,
Right.
and it was denied, what they said to him was, okay, so here's what we'll do. 1 o'clock on July 8th, you can come here and we'll have a hearing to see if y'all can come together and come up with an earlier date for sentencing. And he wants to get out of there.
Right.
He wants to get, what is it, the MSRB? He wants to get out of that prison. So
Yes, yes.
I would, it's one of the worst places you can be in the world and all of that. So after sentencing, he gets to go to the new prison. Yeah, I guess I'd have
Right.
been mad too if I thought I was going home and I wasn't. Shoot.
Yes. That's like you
But,
you think you're gonna get Christmas presents and you turn around and get mud.
ouch, that's how you feel about it? So,
You
I
ain't gotta
mean,
put.
here's the good
Mm-hmm.
part for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was a complete victory for him. He was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to get life in jail. Do you
Mm-hmm.
know what prosecution asked for after all them
Mm-hmm.
charges was beat?
Mm-hmm.
2 to 3 years. Why is that
That would
such
have
a
felt
complete
like
victory? I'm sorry, go ahead.
that would have felt like life to him too. 2 to 3 years. Yeah, he would have been feeling crazy either way you go.
Well, that's what
So
prosecution
he
is
needed.
asking for. That doesn't mean that's what they're getting.
Right. Right.
And here's the thing, right? By the time sentencing is up, he's already been in there for what? 8 months, 9 months
Yeah.
since
Yes.
September.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So by the time sentencing, he's going to have done almost a year anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And if he behaves himself in there, he's only going to serve 85% of that time.
Yes, sir. Well.
So you got time served. You got 85% of. He's
Mm-hmm.
got a year and a half, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
maybe two. And that's if they give him 2 to 3 years, they got a year and a half, maybe 2 years. So it is a long time. But when you was looking at the rest of your life, you're like, yo, I could do a year. Hold up, I did 10 months already. Like, I don't want to do this, but I could be home in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought they was going to give him life and he was going to kill himself in prison. And then the
Well, I
case
said not
started.
today.
And as the
Mm-hmm.
case went on, I'm like, yo, they're going to get a hung jury. I was wrong about that. They just completely acquitted him of most of the charges. I thought it was going to be a hung jury. But they wanted to go home, so they came to a decision quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So the big question, how do you, because somebody asked this, and this, the reason you're here, how do you feel that this is going to affect the music business going forward?
Well, I think people are being a little more cautious on certain things they're doing. I feel me personally, because a lot of people that are in this field, they act like super gangsters, but in real life, they was just normal people. So sometimes people need something to slow them down from crashing, because there would have been more people like them crashing out there. So Diddy is a big example of what not to do. You can have power, but you have to let power warp your brain that you just think you can do anything. No. So I think that's the only thing I can get out of it. No, doing time is not a good thing, but what you did to Cassidy then wasn't a good thing either. So take it for what it is, man.
Yeah, I went over the Cassie thing. I don't know if you
Mm-hmm.
was able to hear that. Let me tell you the problem with the Cassie situation.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Cassie did a lot of coke together. Did a lot of all types of drugs together. Cassie
Right.
went on the stand and admitted that half the time they were fighting, she would hit him first.
Right.
Now, you know me. I don't condone hitting women. You never heard of me hitting a woman. I might have been a little bit of a bad boy when it came to dealing with girlfriends, but I wouldn't put my hands on them. You know
Right.
what I mean? That's like,
Mm-hmm.
but if that's their relationship, and it's not like he's just
Mm-hmm.
beating on her like a pimp.
Mm-hmm.
Once sometimes she's hitting him, that's just a
Mm-hmm.
toxic drug-fueled relationship. That's not
Mm-hmm.
him pimping her. Because ain't
Right.
never in the history been a time when the pimp named Slickback says it's okay for a woman to put their hands on you. You better put that in her place. Because that's what the pimp named Slickback told me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if y'all know the Boondocks. That was my favorite cartoon as a kid.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen
Well,
it. I've
not a
seen
kid,
it.
but what's up?
I've seen it.
Yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
I say all that to say that's wild. That's wild. Like, yo, she's hitting him first. Jane Doe said the same thing. There was this big thing with Jane Doe. She had
Mm-hmm.
this big thing where she said she was chased through the woods and he kicked down her door.
Mm.
And that right there was about to get him convicted. You convict him for that, right? He's a monster. He's chasing
Yeah.
women through the woods and kicking down their doors. Do you know what she said before? Do you know when the continued to be questioned? Do you know what came out?
What
You want to
happened?
hear this?
Mm-hmm.
They were drinking and she started attacking him and then ran and he chased her. And
Wow.
when he finally caught her by kicking her door in, he didn't lay a
Mm-hmm.
hand on her.
Right.
He didn't lay
Wow.
a hand. She attacked him and he lost it, but he didn't hit her. He didn't lay a hand on her.
Mm-hmm.
This was right after the Cassie situation. So defense speculated that she found out Cassie got money, so she did this because she was trying to get her bag too. She wanted to try. She
Right.
did it to try and get money, and he didn't. And
Mm-hmm.
he got real upset. He lost it, but he didn't fall for it because he didn't hit her. But she
And
was
he
like,
didn't
yo,
go
I
for
hit
the
him in the
banana.
back of his head.
He didn't
So,
go for the
so,
banana in the tailpipe. That's what happened.
but so you hear these stories, and it's like, y'all convicted him of doing what? This the same woman that said that she was forced and abused. She said he punched me in the face and made me
Mm-hmm.
give somebody an oral job afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
this is your story, right? He did that to you, but at the same time, you getting drunk and just punching him in the back of the head. These are the things going on.
Well, that is one crazy situation. That's the crazy. You got a girl bopping. She's bopping me in the back of my head. I'm not gonna hit her because I have respect for women. And plus, if I hit her, I might knock her out and hurt her. I understand that. But you know what? To some of my pimp friends, did the same thing. But then there's some that would have did the opposite. Gorilla pimps. They did the opposite. She been dragged up the street. They would have dragged up the street and beat the out of them. So it's just a bad situation. It's just a bad situation that he got himself in. And I know he's upset at his lawyers, but you know what? His lawyers wouldn't got work if he wasn't putting in work. You was
Nah, he's
putting
not
in
upset at
work.
his lawyers. He's not upset at
He,
his lawyers.
he shouldn't
He
be. Shouldn't
beat
be.
a RICO. Like,
Hmm.
it was like, it can't be done. There's no way he's ever going to do this. He's going to jail for the rest of his life. And they gave him something. And again, he got like 2 to 3 years. He already served almost a year.
Hmm.
If he only got us 85% of that sentence, like, yo, he's
Hmm.
coming, he's going to do a year and a half, and he's coming home.
Hmm.
And the reason they didn't give him bail, let's talk about the bail. Because that was the big thing, right? You said he'd be upset because he didn't get the bail. They looked at this dude and they said, yo, the exact words the judge used was a great phrase. You have a propensity for violence.
Hmm.
Let's look up the word propensity. Because I don't remember the exact definition, but I have a real close idea. Because I used the word. But now I want to be precise. Propensity. So according to Google Gemini, which I like to get a lot of my quick references to, I don't happen to have a Black's dictionary here. An inclination or natural tendency to behave in a particular way. At least I'm using the word correctly. So he had a propensity for violence. So he's like, yo, can we get home? Can we get home? Yo, people was coming up. Yo, these dudes, like, yo, they was a Cassie and her lawyer, and yo, they was like, yo, you cannot let this man out. They were afraid. Like, he's gonna come out and he's gonna try and hurt
Hmm.
somebody. I understand, yo, y'all done went and said all this and got this man locked up for almost a year, and he really like, yo, y'all lied. I'd be afraid, especially when the real deal is prosecution presented their case badly. This man is a monster. You might want to be afraid if you did all that. He might not
Right.
do something to you, but you gotta worry. The comments are not showing up anymore.
Mm.
Could he just stay clean legally?
I think so.
If he's up,
I think he learned his lesson because he's been there long enough that he realized that he got to slow down. See, because before this case, he had
your fingers are
no
blocking the camera, man.
uh,
There you
he
go.
had no buffer to make him slow down. Now he has this as a buffer that he's going to change the way he deals with life. He talked all that gangster stuff, but he never was in a gangster situation. Now he's, excuse me, is been in one, and I believe me, he thinks different. We can sit
I
and
never
say
looked at
no,
it
no,
that way. That's why having you on board and having a think tank where we can all come together and have these conversations is great. I didn't see it that way. Now that you said that,
because
I have to take that in consideration.
that's right. Because life is a buffer to make you change your ways and actions. Now if he never went through it. He might be still thinking 7:30, but he went through. So he realizes, "Er, I gotta I gotta pump my brakes. I gotta change my game. Money is cool, but don't mean nothing in this judicial system. So I gotta chill, eat him up, chill. That's what he got to do. And
It
if he
might be in
don't,
his best interest.
hmm
I don't know if he has the capacity to quit yet. I don't know if you've ever been addicted to anything, but I am an alcoholic. To
okay,
quit, I used to smoke cigarettes. I was at 2 packs a day when I quit.
right,
Addictions are incredibly difficult to walk away from. People
right,
stop smoking for 20 years and get stressed out and go light a cigarette.
right,
Alcoholics have been clean for 10, 15 years. They go and have a drink again.
hmm
He is going to be walking out and a free man with all the money in the world. And what happens when you have an addiction is you tell yourself, I mean, I can only speak for myself and to other people I've spoken to. I can't speak to everybody.
right,
But generally, when you have an addiction, what you feel is, I can handle it this time.
right.
But that's at least from what I understand and from my own personal experience. You tell yourself, this time will be different. So he might go back and be okay for a while, but I don't
hmm
know that he was scared straight where he's like, I'm never touching this stuff again. I don't
Right.
know that he's going to react that way. I think he's actually going to be more inclined to want to go out and celebrate and get high and be right back down the rabbit hole from whence he came.
Well,
I mean, I could be wrong. He could be like, nah, bro, that shit was the worst. I ain't doing that. I never want to be there again.
right.
And
Because
I would
this is some,
pray. I'm sorry, go ahead.
mhm, this is a life he didn't realize this was going to happen. He really believed that he was always going to be able to jump over the broom. But guess what? He jumped and he fell and cracked his booty. Now he's in, now he's up there saying, why? And I know a lot of the guys in jail are clowning. I know they clown, and he's feeling like crap. Yeah, he thought he was going home, but you back here with us. That's back where you supposed to be, you bum. So,
You got to remember something. He's not in a regular cell with regular people.
right?
So he's not going to get the same treatment that a regular person like me or you would get. He's getting in there with the banker guy, thief, bankerman, whatever it was. He's left. He's in there with
hmm
somebody else. He's not. These guys are not going to treat him the same way as we would get treated, or how he's not getting that.
I'm
But
gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something that I know you don't know. One of
you're
my
not on camera.
friends, oh, one of my friends is a CEO for that facility, and he told me certain things. He told me he was in there. Who else? Supreme was in it. He was in there. All these people.
Hold on a minute, everybody. Pay attention to this. This is an
He was in.
exclusive right here on the Think Tank. Go ahead,
He was in.
Ice.
He was in there with all the Supreme. You know, if you know Supreme team, he was in there with Supreme. He's in there with Diddy, and he knows for a fact the way they're gonna deal with him, the way they was dealing with him. Oh yes, they they're trying to get to him. All that soft shoe stuff, no, they're gonna get to him because they're doing time too. So we have to stop believing that he's gonna live easy street. He's not. Somebody was already, somebody already, somebody wanted to stab him up in it.
I know that.
So if that's the case, that it was easy street, that wouldn't have happened. So he's dealing with life in the feds, but it's still jail. Because some of the people have got a lot of time, and he wanted to do one thing: I'm gonna take him out. So that's why on news they said he didn't want to go back to this that jail because he knows that they're gonna be clowning him. He knows they're gonna play him. So now he has to deal with it. We got
That
to
was
deal with it.
exclusive right here. He's not getting the
He's not getting,
soft
no, he's
treatment.
not getting
He's in jail
without the bail. He's not
without
getting pampered. He's not
none
getting
of that.
pampered. He is getting,
Wow, right here.
he's getting a
Wow.
hard shaft. I know his
Dang.
daughter's is pissed.
So how did they get to him? Did he
Remember,
shower with the other inmates? How could they get to him?
that could happen. Or when they crack the cell, there's so many different ways they can get to him. When they clean up the cell, when he gets out to get his commissary, if that's maybe, I don't know if they use phones on the walls. I don't know how they do it. Okay, but I know that if they want to get you, I don't give up what you think. You getting got, and they'll hear about you in the 5 o'clock news tomorrow.
I would think somebody with the type of money available to someone like Puffy that he would be able to pay for protection.
Yeah, but some of them don't want to protect you. Some of them may be on somebody else's payroll.
Yeah, but it's going to be hard to pay more than he can pay. And he can get some people to really protect him in there. And that's what I would do if I were in his shoes. I would not be walking around worried. I would be a kingpin in there. And I wouldn't even, and then you be humble. You don't have to treat people badly, and you treat them right, and pay your dues.
Hmm.
Yo, you got a kid going to college. Here's the college money. You know what I'm saying? I pay each semester. Here's what you need in your commissary. You take care of them people, and you buy the loyalty because that's the only way you're gonna get it. They don't like you, but if you taking care of some of the right people, they'll keep everybody else off of you because that's how that
That's
works.
that's true. But what about if you have CEOs that you cannot buy and they're working for the other side? Because there's always somebody on the other side. You can't say you can buy everything up. No, there's somebody on the other side that may not like you because you might have messed with their daughter or their cousin. What about them?
If you got enough protection, they can't get to you. You can
Well, put it
always
like
have
this.
somebody watching your back with $400 million.
Okay, put it like this. Whitey Bulger, he had juice and all that money and all that, and they got to him. He
Wasn't there
didn't
a
pay.
Weinstein or something like that swinging from a cell or something? I do see your
No,
point.
no. So if they want to
Epstein,
get you,
whatever,
they can get you.
Weinstein.
If they want to get you, they're gonna get you. There's
You're
no
right.
ifs, buts, or maybes. So all you have to do is keep your eyes open, your mouth shut, and be as polite as you can possibly be. But some people just don't like you. It's
And
like,
that's gonna be that's real life in life anywhere. I
yeah,
don't care if
mhm,
you're king of the planet or sweeping
mhm,
floors or whatever. I don't care if you're the president of the company or
you're
the
right.
security guard letting the president in.
Remember, there's a sign, yin and yang. That's two sides. So everything is not on the same side. So some people are naturally on the other side. So naturally you're gonna have problems.
That's a
So all you can do is deal with it, deal with it, deal with it. I
that
can
was an
tell you,
impressive spiritual lesson. I'm sorry, go on. That was spiritual right there.
mhm,
I love
I can
that
say
elevated spiritual.
when I was in a Costa, when I was in prison, some people just didn't like me because they didn't like me. I was a funny motherfucker. I had a man, people love me, like me. But there's always somebody that doesn't like you. There's nothing you can do except brace yourself for the bull crap that's gonna come. That's it. You
That's a
don't have to
fact.
go in there. You don't have to go in there like Big Charlie, knocking people out. No, no. Just be cautious. That's all. Be cautious. That's it.
Words of wisdom that I will never need. Cause I would never abide to. I'd be trying to knock out the biggest dude I could find and making myself a name real quick. Cause I'm scared, honestly. And because I'm scared, I'm gonna act like a coward and I'm gonna do something. And there's only two ways you can do. You either run or fight, and I don't run. But I'll never be in that situation. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway,
Well,
Diddy is in that situation, and he acts like a tough guy when he has all the security around.
right.
I I don't see Puffy as a tough guy. I think that somebody would beat him up.
Because I could tell you a story, another story. I'm upstate. This guy, his name was, man, I don't, he was a little guy, small like me, and he beat this big guy brains. He beat this big guy, beat him up. So height doesn't mean nothing.
It doesn't mean anything.
If somebody will go, that's what I said. If they want to get you, they're gonna get you, man. So all you're gonna do is be careful. That's all you can do is be careful.
When I was younger, I seemed to have a problem where I seemed to draw the type of energy that made people want to attack me. I've been
Mm-hmm.
jumped numerous times.
Mm-hmm.
It's an unfortunate truth about my youth. Made me a pretty good fighter, but that and martial arts. But
Mm-hmm.
I've had to fight multiple people more times than I got fingers.
Mm-hmm.
I do understand. I actually wound up being a bouncer. I used to run into melees. True story.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the last time a situation happened. Someone came running at me with a knife, and
Mm-hmm.
my martial arts training kicked in, and I saw the way his feet were at a particular moment, the way exactly
Mm-hmm.
where his hands were at that exact moment, and I was like, okay, so if I do this move, he'll be on the ground, and I'll have disarmed him. I don't
Right.
remember actually doing the move. I just remember after thinking it, I was standing over him with the knife in my hand. A lot of my martial arts friends said it was just what they call muscle memory. I'd practiced so
Yeah.
much that my body automatically did it.
Mm-hmm.
But some people like you can't be prepared for something like that. I was trained. I had the honor to work with a great martial artist, seven-time world champion Paul Momondo. He
Mm-hmm.
showed me multiple different ways to disarm somebody if they have a gun to your head. Then you know what he told me?
Right. Let me
If they
think.
have a gun to your head, give them your wallet, give them whatever they ask for. You can't
Mm-hmm.
you can't move faster than a bullet. Now, I mean, the move required doing the move and dodging out the way at the same time. There's a lot of stuff to it. You never know how
Mm-hmm.
you're going to react in a situation until you're in it. You can practice a
Right.
million times. The muscle memory might make you do the move anyway, or
Mm.
you might get shot in the head.
Right.
You know, I
And I know
digress.
some, and I knew somebody that knew martial arts. He got killed. I couldn't believe it. I was. This is IS-59. We in junior high school, man. He
That was a tough
got ready.
school.
He got ready to do his little martial arts,
It's a junior
and
high school for you who don't know today.
they got him and put him down.
They killed him in junior high school.
Yeah, he never made it to high school.
We're from a tough
Wow.
neighborhood, guys. We're from a really tough neighborhood. Southside Jamaica. I grew up with 50. So all the stories you be hearing, it went down like that. It went down like that. For real. For real.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into all of that.
Shout
That's
out
the
to Fetty.
past. You know, we older now, we grown. But we did come from a rough neighborhood.
Shout out to Fetty.
Yeah, shout out to 50. He doing his thing. Yo, so this beef between so Fat Joe is being accused of all the same crimes as Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying that the reason that 50 has beef with Diddy is because of his baby mom.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I don't know that to be true. But the speculation is Jane Doe was, what is her name? 50 said it was her too. Daphne.
Mm.
50 said it was her as well. 50 was putting out memes and all that. 50 a funny dude. He's putting out memes about it. But so Who else was there? Oh, and Busby and Jay-Z have been in court, and
Mm-hmm.
Busby won because Jay-Z was trying to be like, nah, you did this, you did that. Busby's like, the only reason I backed down is because my client was terrified because your people were harassing her. I didn't back down because she was lying.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday in court, Jay-Z took a loss to Busby.
Mm-hmm.
Now Busby wants to sue him for lawyer fees. I know that's not this particular case, but where it ties in is the girl that accused Jay-Z said Jay-Z and Puffy were in the room when she was molested, and a Jane Doe, not the same Jane Doe from this case. Jane Doe is just a term that means we're not giving a name, so it's an alias for anyone in the courts when they don't give a name. So either Jane Doe or John Doe. So Jane Doe won in this particular case, I guess, because it was was watching what happened, and they took turns molesting her, and she ran out the room, and she had this elaborate story. And again, my favorite YouTuber that I like to watch on these type of things, her name is Tisa from Tisa Tells. Go check her
Mm-hmm.
out. She followed the story and showed how everything this young lady said, who suffered from, she's severely autistic. She
Mm-hmm.
suffers from severe autism. So she might have had the years wrong, but everything she said happened could line up based on the location of the house, the proximity to some VHS One Awards, I believe it was, that she said she came from, where Diddy was throwing parties at the time, the people that was there, who was on the Triton Town or whatever it was. Tisa found the year where everything she said lined up, so it made perfect sense. But the
Right,
girl
right.
dropped the charges, and the girl was like, I'm being harassed, my family's being harassed by people from Jay-Z's camp. And then people came to her crib and they was knocking on her door and they was asking her all types of questions. And it was private detectives. And it was like, well, Jay-Z didn't hire them. So then why are private detectives knocking on her door? They randomly just decided they're going to do it themselves. No, they were hired by, and this came out, they were hired by Jay-Z's firm.
Mm-hmm.
So why are people from your firm hiring private detectives to harass this victim? And she was like, that's the reason she dropped the case. I don't know, I wasn't there, but people was from your firm was going to a crib harassing her. That sounds crazy.
Well, I
And
mean,
Chrissy just let me know that not only the legal system, but the medical system uses Jane and John Doe as well. I did not know that. Thank you for that information.
they do.
Oh, right, right. If you got somebody who had an accident, you don't know their name, right, 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 and they laid up in a hospital bed in a coma or something. Seen it in the
Mm-hmm.
movies a million times. Duh. Right, 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 right. So, all right, that's what happened. So he's not getting bail because they fought for it, but they was like, "You're dangerous. You beat on people. You threaten people. I don't care what the jury said. I'm not giving you bail."
That's the point. That's the reason why he didn't get it. He's a
What you
menace to
mean?
society. He's a menace to society.
Yeah,
Even though he may not really live like that. Because remember, he was on cocaine, he was on amphetamines, he was on liquor. So,
Adderall.
you know, so all that plays a part on how he was acting. But it don't
I
play a
don't know
part
if you was
on.
here for the part when I said one of the orders to the jury placed by the judge
Hmm.
explained that if he was intoxicated of his
Hmm.
own accord
Hmm.
when he committed the predicate acts for RICO, he wasn't
Hmm.
responsible. So if I take a couple of drinks and then I do something that's a predicate act for RICO, something that can lead to a RICO charge, because
Hmm.
I'm intoxicated, even if I did it to myself, I'm not responsible.
Hmm.
Which is weird because if I take a couple of drinks and I get behind the wheel of a car, I am responsible. So I'm like, how the hell does that work? But that's what the jury That's what the judge told the jury. He would not be responsible if he was under the influence of substances, even if he inflicted it upon himself. So then he was never
Wow.
guilty of anything. That's crazy, right?
Hmm. He can he can get into get into a car and crash into a bus with 13 kids, kill them all. It's not his fault. Does that
It's not a
really?
predicate charge for RICO. I mean, he's going to go to jail for a long time, but
Yeah,
he's not. It's not
for
a predicate charge
manslaughter.
for RICO.
No, that's manslaughter.
Yeah, but it's not. But they can't use it for RICO if he was in top. That's crazy. That don't make no
Hmm.
sense.
You're right.
Worse. That means every time he wants to go break a law, he got to do is take a bump. All right, I'm ready.
Hmm. Yeah,
I'm I'm innocent.
yeah. I was
So
high. Can't do that. I was high.
because I got high, because I got high, because I got high. My
Yeah,
bad.
that
You
was
got
it.
me on it now.
Mhm.
I'm not as good at it as you are, but
Tell
because
him
that man can riff.
up the hose with a rubber nose.
So,
Yeah. Man.
oh, uh,
So
I
Diddy,
will.
just enjoy your day, because when you come back out, life is gonna go 100 miles an hour. Sometimes you may be upset because you're ready to run, but something's stopping you. And when you do come out, the same life is still out there. Hopefully, you'll be ready for it this time.
I
That's the
think that
best
the
way.
extra time in prison might be good for him for that because the
Hmm.
10 months, the 8 months, or whatever, he's still gonna come out and get high right away. Hopefully, when he comes out, he will have a change of heart. I think he might need a little more time. I hope he come out. I hope they make him do rehab. I hope because I think he was involved with a lot of other things, but if the feds
Hmm.
ain't bring it up, maybe not. Maybe it's all just rumors. The feds ain't bring it up, so maybe they know something we don't. Maybe it's
Hmm.
all rumors and he really had nothing to do with any of it. Because I can't see why the feds wouldn't bring it up otherwise. I don't know why Keefe's in jail.
Well, put it like this, man. Sugar honey iced tea is sugar honey iced tea.
That
That's the best way you can put it. What we
is.
thought was going to happen in this trial didn't happen.
Which y'all
There
thought.
was a, there was a
Right, because I
lot
thought it
of
was going to
things.
be a hung jury and he got off.
I thought it was going to be banana in the tailpipe, and was gonna explode.
I think he might be giving you that banana in a tailpipe in prison and probably
Yeah.
enjoying it because of his lifestyle, regardless.
Well, all I can say is I feel bad for the kids. That's it. The kids, because they are sitting there like thought they were gonna have a nice party with their dad, and they're sitting in that same place. So, this is tough. We got to talk to our lawyers. We got to try to get daddy out. So they have to figure a different plan now.
You know what?
Hmm.
Not the end of the world. Like you thought he was coming home, he didn't come home, but he only
Hmm.
got a couple of years. He's not going away for the rest of his life. Because if he had gone away for the rest of his life, chances are he would have slit his own wrist in jail. That's probably
Yeah.
what would have happened. A couple of years, he's going to come home. He's going to get time off for good behavior. He's going to get time served. He's not going to be going that long.
All right. You just
Like if
got
you
to
did a
learn
year,
his.
you can do another year and a year and a half. It just is what it is.
Just learn your lesson. That's it. Learn your lesson. I know you wanted to come out, 4th of July party, all that. In all the functions that he wanted to be to. He's not going to be there. I'm sorry. Sorry, buddy. You got to just relax yourself. Let your conscience be free. Get down with the sound of the ICE. You'll be all right, man. You'll be all right. That's the way you got to look at it. You'll be all right. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it tomorrow. Don't think about outside. Don't think about what you was going to do. Because guess what? You're not doing it now. So you have to keep your mind in jail mode. That's where your mind's gonna stay in jail mode. You can't think about I was gonna and when no, because guess what? You're not doing it. You're eating the same crappy food that you was eating yesterday now. So just chill.
I think he's gonna
And
come out. He took it to trial, beat it. Now he feel he
Mhm.
undefeated. He mean it. I, I think that's what's going. And if anybody you don't know, that's a Biggie reference.
Wow,
Oh yeah.
wow.
Oh yeah. You know. But I think that's what's gonna be. I think he took it to trial, beat it. Now he feel he undefeated. He mean I think he's gonna come out. He's gonna be a monster. That's what I
You
think.
go-
I think he's gonna come out. It's gonna be worse. I
No,
hope I'm
no.
wrong.
I
I
think you
really
are
truly
wrong.
hope I'm wrong.
I know you're wrong. Because after you go through something like that, your mindset is different. You don't think like I'm gonna come out and conquer the world and well, you don't think like that. You're already on your course. So it's not like he gotta start over. He just gotta rethink what he was doing and do it the right way. That's all. Make
You
new
giving him a
alliances.
lot of credit, bro.
Yeah, I
I don't
got to.
know.
If I wasn't there, I couldn't say that. But I was there. And I
Mm.
know how I was before and after. Before I was a wild dude. And it took me to go away for something that I didn't do. And when I came out, my mindset was different. Before I went, I was saying I was gonna do it, but I wasn't I was faking jacks.
Yo,
So
listen, we
that
all gone through that phase in our lives where, we faking it to make it. And unfortunately, when you fake it, you either get caught or you have to become what you pretended to be.
that's right. Because yo, there was no ice water before I went to jail. There was little ice, but there was no ice water. It was a guy upstate that gave me the name. He said, "Yo, man,
What are you
you
doing
know,
to
you
that
too."
camera, fam?
I'm not doing nothing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's straight now, right?
Yeah.
He said, he asked me my name. I said, my name's Little Ice, man. He said, "Yo, man, you too big to be Little Ice, man. No, your name's gonna be Ice Water." So that's how I got the name Ice Water.
Didn't know that.
And the funny thing is, the guy's name was the same as my government name. His name was Lamont. And my name was Lamont. That's how I became. But when I came home,
Mm,
I was on beast time. I ain't gonna say beast mode. I was on beast time. You know.
that's
So
interesting.
so all I can say to Diddy as a constituent alumni of the hip hop field, hold your head, man. Everything's gonna work out like it's supposed to work out. You know.
And Chrissy J says she doesn't think he's going to be worse. I don't think he'll be worse. Maybe the same, but he did get slapped, which might make him acknowledge that being worse isn't the best idea. Chrissy J seems to agree with you. She's like, nah, not after what he's going through. He's going to chill out. He's going to be smarter than that.
That's right. Because there's no wins going the opposite way. Time for you to go the right way.
But we're gonna wrap up today. We've covered this. The next time we come on, we're gonna come on a new channel. We're gonna call it the Entertainment Channel. And on the entertainment channel, we're only going to talk about things in entertainment. We'll talk about rappers, we'll talk about acting, we'll talk about directing, film stuff. We're going to do a new channel exclusively for entertainment. Look out for it next week. In the meantime, if you enjoyed today's content, please like, tell your friends about it, share, subscribe to the channel. There'll be
Hmm.
more news. This is the news channel. We will handle the news here. When there's big cases
Yep.
coming up, we're going to cover it. We're constantly covering Trump. We got a video coming out this week that will go live Sunday, 9 p.m. Always with the Honorable Dion Powell, representative from the Bronx, New York. But you can catch me and Ice on the new channel. We will put a link. We'll send out invites. I think you'll enjoy it. We're gonna kick it about some real good stuff. He's got a
Well,
lot of stories. I might have a story or two.
And I'll leave you with this. LAQNS to residential. Keep my wrist small, toss a presidential. It's evidential. Queen legacy monumental. A lot of charm got into. Throw back like rental. Let me spin through. Clear mythical. Metaphysical. Potholes I'm slipping through. Empire like state. Hip hop like milk crate. Time to leave this place. From the weed, the coke, the DVD, now float. Program like dope. Ski life like slow. Throw a vision on flow. Think water, show. One. Now
All
back to
right,
you,
thanks for
brother.
coming. Please support the
Hmm.
channel. It means a lot to independent guys like us trying to
Yes,
get better and grow and get the word out there so that we can become a think tank, a community where we can come together and solve
problems.
problems and issues and not rely on the news. It's like CNN that's going to give us all this left propaganda, or the Fox who's going to give us all this right propaganda, where we can come together and look at facts and intellectually
Right.
break them down with critical thinking. So please
Yes,
become a
sir.
part of the critical thinking community. Join us.
Yes.
And with that, I'm going to get ready to sign out. Ice, you
Have
want
a
to
nice
say
one.
peace to these people? All right, peace,
Peace.
brother.
Peace and hand grease.
All
New York, all right?
right. And
Have a
this is
good day.
LC. You
All
do the
right.
same, man. Everybody enjoy your 4th of July. Thanks for coming. We really appreciate you coming here and showing your support. And I hope you enjoy your holiday weekend. This is
And that,
LC signing out.
that's right.